Unfortunately, the winning streak comes to a close for the Toronto Maple Leafs as they fall 4-3 in overtime to the Vegas Golden Knights there at Scotiabank Arena and now fall to 7-4-3 on the season. And the two takeaways I have from today's game, negatively, there are positives, and we're going to touch on all of them. The negative ones are Morgan Rielly's playing his own end, and we'll touch on that later, and the turnovers, which we'll touch on throughout the video. And we'll start with one of them right now. First period. Leafs got the puck in the offensive zone. You're feeling pretty good. Maybe getting a good scoring chance early. Who knows? Puck comes back to the point to Rasmus Sandin, and he whiffs on it. Down comes Nick Waugh the other way, and he scores. And you're down 1-0. 45 seconds into the game, and you're trailing to the Vegas Golden Knights. Not what you want to be doing right now. And that's a tough one for Rasmus Sandin. Really tough for a guy who, let's be honest here, Leaf fans, hasn't really looked great. Anybody who says he's looked fine, he's looked good, you're probably not watching the games. Because he hasn't really done anything to jump out at you. And he's done some blundering. So that's something to keep an eye on moving forward. 5:05 in, though, the Leafs make them pay. And he didn't get on the score sheet. But shout out Dennis Mulligan. Because they're trying to break the puck out of their own zone. Looks like they're going to get it. But Dennis Mulligan bodies his guy up at the point, strips him of the puck, passes it down low to Zach Aston-Reese, who's about at the hash marks on the boards. Passes it down low, who's about on the goal line, to David Kampf. Both guys, Mulligan and Zach Aston-Reese crash towards the net. And you're thinking, okay, the puck's going to one of those two guys, right? And you see David Kampf's pass, and it's a pretty hard pass. But it goes past both those dudes. You're like, who the hell is that? Oh, Timothy Liljegren coming down from the point. And he wires one past the goaltender, Logan Thompson. And the Leafs have tied the game at 1. The fourth line getting it done again. That fourth line of David Kampf, Zach Aston-Reese, and Dennis Mulligan, for the last couple of games, because I thought they were great against Carolina, did a great job early on in this game, tying this game up. And shout out Timothy Liljegren for getting on the board. Problem, though, late in the period, less than 3 minutes to go. Timothy Liljegren has the puck in his own zone, tries to pass it out, gets knocked down by Jack Eichel before it even gets out of the zone. And then a nice little passing play. It's finished off by Jack Eichel. And you are now trailing 2-1. The turnovers killing you early on. The Sandin whiff at his own blue line, at the opposition blue line. And the Timothy Liljegren bad pass getting picked off literally right in front of him by Jack Eichel. And you trail 2-1 after one period of play. Shots on goal 8-7 Vegas after one period. Not what you want to see in the turnovers category, but overall the Leafs don't play a terrible period, really. And in the second period, the fellas turn up the notch. And shout out Mitch Marner. We have not been able to say this for a little while. We all know the Sheldon Keefe stuff that happened with benching him and slamming his stick and all this stuff. We really haven't seen one of those Mitch Marner games where he takes over, has 3 or 4 points, and you're like, man, that's what this guy can do. Well, I think we can all agree tonight was one of those nights for Mitch Marner. And for me, it starts in that second period. And I didn't even write the time down of the goal. So I think it was like 3 minutes before the Liljegren goal. So something like 13 minutes, something like that. Marner finds the loose puck, right? Because they're battling on the boards, about close to the blue line. Maybe just above the hash marks along the boards. And Mitch Marner finds the puck, takes it out of the scrum, winning puck battles. And then the hands just take over, right? Get around one guy, everyone starts looking at him, the hands keep going crazy. You're thinking, is he going to damn shoot it? Is he going to find some weird pass? I don't know what's going to happen. He finally lets it go, a little hesitation shot, screwed up the goaltender, screwed me up, and he buries it. And you're like, oh my God, that's gorgeous from Mitch Marner. And that's the highlight I'm going to use, as you guys have probably already seen it by now. What a goal from Mitch Marner. And like I said, we haven't seen one of those yet from him this season, but you saw one there. Really nice job for Mitch. And that ties the game at 2, just over midway through the second period. We're thinking, all right, let's keep this thing rolling. About 3 minutes after that, if I'm correct. Morgan Riley, again, like we talked about off the top, in his offensive zone, he's good. Defensively, hasn't looked great this season. But he has the puck in the offensive zone, right on the blue line, kind of cuts to the back. And then, who's that bumper guy? Usually you like to see like the John Tavares guy in the middle. But Mitch Marner finds that spot right in the middle of the ice. And Morgan Riley feeds it down to him, but just above the hash marks there. And then he has a behind-the-back pass to the other side. And Morgan Riley goes around. Looks like this pass is initially for him, right? Because he's coming down the other side. It goes past Riley. But who's there to pick it up and rip it home? Timothy Liljegren again. I mean, this guy has 2 goals in the game. But more importantly, the Leafs got the lead. And you're like, oh my God. Against Vegas, he scored 2 unanswered in the second. You shoot them 15-5. And you get the lead after 2? I mean, this is wild. 20 minutes. Lock it down. Well, we all know that didn't happen. And in the third period, about midway through, Leafs got a power play, and you're like, this is the nail in the coffin. You bury one here, it's game. Well, the Leafs fall asleep a little defensively. And at the right point, you see 2 guys. God, I can't remember. I believe one was Mitch Marner, and I want to say the other one was Morgan Riley. Both guys try to knock the puck down at the point. Both miss. And it ends up on the tape of the guy Morgan Riley was back, excuse me. So it must have been somebody else at the point. It was not Morgan Riley. I don't know. Either way, there was someone else at the point. They both whiff on it. And the puck comes down to, I don't know if it was Riley Smith who picked it up or, he buried it. And right as that pass goes, one of the Vegas guys takes off, and both guys who missed the puck are just looking. Then they realize, oh crap, we got to get back. It's a little too late as they have a shorthanded 2-on-1, and they bury it past Erik Källgren, and we are tied at 3. This goal was at 11:43 of the third period, and there's a shorthanded goal to tie the game. And we go to overtime, and again, falling asleep on defense. They obviously you've seen so many times in overtime where, the offensive player has the puck, and they don't really see anything, so they come out of the zone to kind of reset. They do that, and Austin Matthews, being the center, goes towards the puck carrier, right? Try to force him into a mistake. But both, I think it's Marner, or is it Nylander? It was either Marner or Nylander and Morgan Riley are kind of just chilling at the point. And they're floating. They're floating up towards the play. Meanwhile, as this puck's on the I want to say on the left boards, but it's on the boards, really. And they have a guy cruising right down the lane, and it's Riley Smith. And once Marner and Marner and Riley realize what's happening, and then this guy is going for a beeline right to that and gets a pass. He's onside. It's way too late. And Riley Smith busts in on a breakaway, and beautiful move, forehand backhand cheese on Erik Källgren, and the Leafs lose in overtime. It's unfortunate because of the defensive blunders that the Leafs don't get the extra point. However, they have won games in a row. They had won 3 in a row coming into this game. And heck, out of a possible 6 points against Vegas, Boston, and Carolina, you got 5. It's not terrible. You're not in a disastrous situation. Yes, would you have loved to have 2 points? And if Sandin doesn't whiff on that at the point, if Liljegren makes a crisp pass and doesn't get picked up, yes, there's all ifs, ands, or buts. And I agree with you. They should have won this game. However, the quality of opportunities from Vegas scared the hell out of me, but I love that the Leafs were peppering the net. Who cares if it's a quality attempt? Rip the damn thing on. And Timothy Liljegren giving you a little bit of a different look. Right-handed, good shot, doesn't try and hold it, look for the perfect shot, look for the tip. No, just grips it and rips it. And he scored 2 goals today. So there's great positives from him. Mitch Marner, I thought it was his best game of the season. Erik Källgren got you a point. 4 goals and 20 shots, not a pretty stat line. But if you watch the game, you know he was a big reason of why this team got a point tonight. Key players in the game, Timothy Liljegren, 2 goals. 2 goals in the game. Mitch Marner had a 1-in-1 night, goal and an assist. He looked really good. Shots on goal in the third period were 9-6 in favor of the Leafs, and they had the lone shot in overtime and buried it. Shots on goal are 31. Held the Vegas Golden Knights to 20 shots. Other than the big-time blunders defensively, they were doing all right, which is hard to say. But you did a job against the Vegas Golden Knights team who going into the game had won 7 straight. They're now 12-3 on the season. 12-2, on the season. They're damn good. And you did a pretty good job against them. With your third string goaltender in the net. Shout out Jarek Shelgren, though. He did a great job tonight. I can't be mad tonight. I really can't. Special teams wise, we were 0-2 in the power play. They were 0-2. The last thing before I wrap it up. Morgan Rielly in the defensive end is scaring me. Offensively, like I said, we know what he can do. He's gifted. We know that. He's got great skating, great passing skills. He's got a good shot when he uses it. But in his own end, we talked about last year how they were so good. You know, him and Brody were phenomenal, this and that. You had Muzzin and Hull, at least when Muzzin was around. You now don't have Muzzin. And Rielly and Brody, hey, that would work. But we saw what happens to Justin Hall when Brody ain't there. It's ugly, man. It's ugly. So what do you do? Because now that Hall's been with Brody, we're not talking about him at all. Which tells me he's not playing terrible. You know what I do think is going to happen? You're going to see Jordy Ben get in the lineup. He's now ready to go. We already got that memo. And with the turnovers today and some of the sloppy play, you want one of those guys out there. Just a guy who's not going to pinch. He'll be defensive. He'll knock around guys in front. He'll bury guys in the corners. He'll block shots. He'll do that kind of stuff. And the Leafs management and coaching staff love guys like this. So we'll see when he gets in the lineup. I think it'll be next game. And speaking of that next game, look, we've been praising this team over the last 4 games. They've got, 3 wins, right? Philly, Boston, Carolina, and even today. Great. Now you take on Pittsburgh. You have 2 days off. And people are like, well, why are you getting all mad? Pittsburgh has lost 7 straight games. They've gotten piss poor goaltending. They don't look good. And they've lost 7 straight. These are the type of games we look at as Leaf fans and are like, okay, you're doing great against these good teams. Let's see us beat one of these guys. I'm not saying Pittsburgh's a terrible team, but they're playing terrible right now. And they'll be on the second night of a back-to-back, and they got to travel. These are one of those games that I would love to come on here and say, well, schedule-wise, it looked like the Leafs were going to win this game, and they did. That's what I'd love to see. And bounce back after a loss tonight. That's what we all want. It's a wait-and-see game. We know they can do it. We've seen it over the last 4 games. The way these guys can play the game of hockey. And you know, over the course of those 2 days, Friday and Saturday, you're going to see Petruzzelli at one point. And I'm excited. His numbers in the minor leagues and all through his young career look pretty good. So he's 6'5" too. So let's see what happens. But that Pittsburgh game I'm looking at is kind of like that trap game where you're like, okay, those are the games the Leafs they usually lose because they play down because Pittsburgh's playing terrible. Well, better not happen again, please. All right? So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and parts of tonight's game, right? There were a lot of positives. There were very large negatives. But again, you got a point against Vegas. Out of the 3 games against these gauntlet teams of Boston, Carolina, Vegas, you got 5 out of 6 points. Hit that like button if you guys enjoyed it. Hit the subscribe button if you guys are not already. Comment down below. Go nuts about your thoughts about the game. What do you think about the Leafs recently? When do you think Jordy Ben's going to get in the lineup? Because you know he's going to get a shot. Just a matter of when. When do you think it'll be? You think it'll be Friday against Pittsburgh? I believe so. That's my take. All right? Let me know your thoughts all in the comments. Twitter link is down below, so follow up, send me a DM to that great stuff. The Discord link, I keep forgetting to mention it at the beginning, but I'm going to mention it here. And Leaf fans, Raptor fans, Jays fans. If you love talking stuff, you love being in group chats about Leafs, Raptors, or Jays, go check out the Discord. I'm in the Discord. I'm actually the owner of the Discord. So go check it out, guys. It'll be a lot of fun. We already have quite a few guys in there talking while the games are going on. It'd be great to have you all there. Instagram link is also down below, so follow up, send me a DM to that great stuff. And I will talk to you guys Raptors edition tomorrow night. They're coming home to take on the Houston Rockets at 7:30. I believe that's what's the deal with the Toronto Raptors. They're trying to bounce back after that tough loss, really tough loss in Chicago there last night. And as for the Toronto Maple Leafs, they've been back in action on Friday as they host the Pittsburgh Penguins. I believe they host the Pittsburgh Penguins at 7 o'clock. Meanwhile, this is what I did on my notes, and I did it for a reason. Pittsburgh has lost 7 straight games. And hopefully they lose to Washington, make it 8. And hopefully we get a chance to make it 9 straight losses. Okay? Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and parts of the game tonight. We'll talk to you guys then.